The Shi'i thinkers, the Shi'i philosophers, the Shi'i mystics, they have taken these things, right, from their imams. Okay, and it is very easy to to verify this. Okay, just one need only to look at the Shi'i Hadith corpus. Okay, works, Hadith compilations such as Nahjul Balagha. Okay, that is attributed to Imam Ali alayhi salam. Sahifa Sajjadiyah, also known as Sahifa Kamile, attributed to Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam. Okay, then the Sahifa Alviyah. Okay, once again attributed to Amir al-Mu'minin Imam Ali alayhi salam. Then you have the supplications, the munajat, and the metaphysical and philosophical utterances and sermons and statements of the imams contained within such hadith compilations such as Al-Kafi by Kulaini and Ihtijaj Tabrasi by Allama Tabrasi and Uyur Akhbar Rida by Sheikh Suduq and uh, there are many works like you have Tawheed Sidduq, Kitab Tawheed, also known as Tawheed Sidduq, once again by the great Sheikh Sidduq himself. So and there are lots of supplications, the munajat, as I stated earlier. So one need only to refer to these munajat, to these supplications, and the commentaries, the commentaries, that have been composed by subsequent Shi'i thinkers, Shi'i philosophers, metaphysicians on these sermons and statements of the infallible authorities on the munajat. Like for example, there is this beautiful supplication by Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salam, who is one of the 12 Shi'i Imams. It's called the Dawn Supplication, okay, the Du'a Sahar. So Sayyid Khomeini himself has an illuminating, very enlightening, philosophical, mystical, commentary upon this dua, and he's not the only one. Okay, I mean there are other Shia metaphysicians, Shia philosophers, or mystics who have composed commentaries, upon this supplication. And this is not the only supplication. I mean, everyone knows. Okay, anyone who has even the slightest familiarity with Shi'i culture, with the Shi'i intellectual tradition, and the Shi'i rituals and customs, traditions, okay, he or she would be well aware of the fact that there is a great deal of emphasis within the Shi'i tradition and culture upon supplications, upon dua, upon munajat, and therefore we have very voluminous collections dedicated entirely to the topic of supplication. Okay, and I just mentioned some of these compilations. That is the Sahifa Alvia, the Sahifa Sajjadiya, okay, the Munajat Shabaniya, okay, Dua Kumail, Dua Abu Hamza Somali, Dua Seher. There are so many. There are so many. Dua Noor. So and then Sayyid Khomeini has several other commentaries like there is this very mystical tradition by Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam on the hosts of the intellect and ignorance. Okay, Junud Aql Jahl. Okay, so Sayyid Khomeini has a very lengthy mystical, philosophical, ethical treatise. Okay, in the form of a commentary on this tradition alone. So there is so the commentary is on just a single tradition from Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam. Okay. So similarly, you have other works. Okay, for instance, one can refer to Arba'un al-Hadith, as we were just discussing, also known as Jahl Hadith, because the Persian translation is known as Jahl Hadith. Okay, so it's a commentary on 40 different traditions from the infallible authorities by Sayyid Khomeini himself. And then you have the Sharh Usul Kafi by Mullā Ṣadrā Shirazi himself. So Usul Kafi is a Shi'i hadith compilation, by Yaqub Kulaini. He was Shi'i, tradent, and so he compiled, a large number of metaphysical, philosophical, and ethical, traditions from the Aimma into in the form of a single work called Al-Kafi, Kitab Al-Kafi. And Mullā Ṣadrā has a very enlightening and a very sophisticated, and a very voluminous commentary, a four-volume commentary upon Usul Kafi, right? Beginning from Kitab Aql wal Jahl, Kitab Tawheed, and there's Kitab al Hujjah, right? So, and this, by the way, this is not the only commentary on Kitab al Kafi. Okay, there are others as well. Other Shi'i philosophers have also, composed commentaries upon the Kitab al Kafi, but Mullā Ṣadrā's commentary is the most well known, the most famous of all those commentaries. Okay, and so I think. Uh, and if you were to read, for instance, there is there is this very sophisticated and renowned Akbarian mystical philosopher by the name of Dawud al-Qaisari. Dawud al-Qaisari himself was the student of Sadruddin Qanavi, if I'm not mistaken, or Abdur Razzaq Kashani. Abdur Razzaq Kashani was another Akbarian. Now, Dawud al-Qaisari is Sunni in his religious confession, and so he has this beautiful, very enlightening, illuminating, philosophical, mystical commentary upon Ibn Arabi's Fusus. Ibn Arabi, Fusus al-Hikam is Ibn Arabi's magnum opus. Okay, so Dawud al-Qaisari, has a commentary upon the Fusus. So it's called Sharh Fusus al-Hikam, or Sharh Qaisari, basically. So if you go through that commentary, so you would find metaphysical statements from the Shi'i Imams interspersed and dispersed all throughout the text of the commentary. Okay, particularly a hadith from the first Shi'i Imam, Amir al-Mu'mineen, the first of the 12, Imam Ali alayhi salam. Okay, but also from the other Shi'i Imams like Imam Jafar al-Sadiq alayhi salam. So interspersed, spread all throughout the work itself. And similarly, if you were to go to the other works of, or the works of the other Akbarian mystics, you would find the same trend, occurring over there as well, right? So, in fact, I would argue, and in fact, many other academics such as Henri Corbin, okay, and Sayyid Hussein Nasr, okay, they've all come to the same conclusion after analyzing, studying, and going through all these classical texts of philosophy and Islamic mysticism, that even the Shi'i mystics, even the Sunni mystics, okay, such as Ibn Arabi himself, such as Sadruddin Qanabi, such as Dawood Qaisri, such as Abdul Razzaq Kashani, such as Azizuddin Nasafi, okay, Najmuddin Kubra, right? They themselves were, they took their inspiration from the Shi'i Imams, okay. So, as I just pointed out, that if you were to read and study Qaisri's commentary of Ibn Arabi's Fusus, so you would easily find, statements or hadiths from the Shi'i Imams, interspersed and dispersed, spread all across the text, the commentary itself. So, um, so yeah, I mean, like, that is what it is.
And is it the case that in Ibn Arabi's writings as well we find something like this, or influence from Shi'i sources, or is it just the case for Akbarian commentators?
No, I mean, uh, Ibn Arabi's doctrines, I mean, like, where is he getting this from? I mean, the entire notion of Insan al Kamil, or the Qutub al Aqtab, okay, or the whole concept of the divine names and attributes, okay, manifesting themselves. Where is this coming from? Okay, go read. One can easily, I mean, refer to Du'a Kumel of Amir al Momneen, which is a very beautiful and a very lengthy supplication, taught by Amir al-Mu'minin himself to one of his disciples, Kumail ibn Ziyad, So he was a disciple of the Imam, and the Imam taught this, supplication to Kumail himself. And just, in the beginning of the supplication, the Imam, speaking about the divine names and attributes, and how the divine names and attributes, they pervade and permeate, uh, all contingent beings, right? So so all these Akbarian notions and doctrines that we come across in his works, such as the concept and the notion of the insan al kamil, the perfect man, okay, which which is nothing but the Shi concept of imama, basically. Then this notion of the divine names and attributes, okay, and then the notion of the eternity of the world, okay, which, I mean, you can find the Shi imams talking about the the eternal effusion of divine grace in the supplication, the dawn supplication itself. If you go and read the dawn supplications, particularly towards the end of the supplications, you would see the imam, speaking about the eternity of the divine grace, daimul faith, right? These are the exact terms used by the infallible authority. So, where is Ibn Arabi getting all this from? Okay, so obviously, I mean, according to him, it is his mystical experience, intuitive disclosure, okay, the kashf, the shahud, right? But all these doctrines were already there, okay, in the Islamic corpus, in the Shi'i corpus, okay. That is precisely the reason why the Shi'i, while the Shi'i philosophers, the Shi'i mystics found it so very, they were so very comfortable, in absorbing, or in, accepting these Akbarian notions, that because they could see within these Akbarian notions, they were easily able to recognize that which belonged, to their own tradition. okay, that which was their own. Okay, it was nothing alien to them, and that is why we see, philosophers and mystics such as Ibn Turka Asfahani, Ibn Abi Jamhur Ahsai, and Sayyid Haider Amuli, right? All coming up, and ultimately this entire trend culminating, or in a sense beginning, in Mullā Ṣadrā Shirazi himself.
Right, right. But what were there mystical thinkers even before Mullā Ṣadrā Shirazi who talked about these things or these matters in an esoteric sense?
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely there were. You have Qanavi, Sadruddin Qanavi, he was a contemporary of Khaja Nasiruddin Tusi. In fact, the two even exchanged, letters, between themselves. So Khaja Nasiruddin Tusi and Sadruddin Qanavi, who was, by the way, he was Ibn Arabi's disciple as well as his son-in-law. Okay, so they both exchanged letters as well. So there was a lot of correspondence going on between the two of them. In fact, the letters have also been published. If I'm not mistaken, they've also been published. I think from Iran.
So were there Shi'i mystics before Mullā Ṣadrā
Yes,
as well
yes.
who
The
talked
ones
about
that I just
this?
named, they all came before Mulla Sadra Shirazi, like Sayyid Haider Amuli. He is a Taimurid era Shi'i, mystical philosopher. Okay, so he has an entire commentary upon Ibn Arabi's Fusus al-Hikam. Okay, and then he has two other, works by the name of Jamiul Asrar wa Mumbail Anwar. Okay, and then he has another work called Asrar Sharia. So both these texts, just go and read them, and you would see, Sayyid Hadr Amuli at ease with Akbarian notions, and he demonstrates the similarity between Akbarian thought and 12er Shi'i, the 12er Shi'i intellectual tradition. Okay, so, and then you have Ibn Abi Jamhur Ahsai, you have Ibn Turka Asfahani. Even Ibn Turka Asfahani, I think, if I'm not mistaken, even he was a Tamuri Dera, mystical philosopher, thinker. So, yes, even before Mulla Sadra, much before Mulla Sadra, you had these, Shi thinkers and philosophers who were into Irfan, and were very familiar and cognizant with the work of Ibn Arabi and Akbarian texts. In fact, Ilyas, if you remember, so just a few days ago, you read something from Taqirat-e-Falsafe, where Sayyid Khomeini, I think it was from the section on the eternity or incipience of the cosmos, where Sayyid Khomeini, states that that the shifa of the Sheikh, that is Ibn Sina, that is Greek philosophy. Okay, but these notions, these ideas that he's referring to, the divine names and attributes and the ama and all that, right? Okay, so they okay, that is not Greek thought, that is not Greek philosophy. Okay, and then he goes on to say that all these notions, they emanate from the statements and the sermons and the utterances of the infallible authorities. Say Khomeini rightly states that these all these notions, all these concepts, all these doctrines, particularly the mystical ones, they're coming from the Shi'i sources, the supplications of the Aimma, okay, the Hadith compilations such as Nahj al-Balagha, Sahifa Sajjadiya, Sahifa Alawiya, Usul Kafi, okay, Uyun al-Akhbar Rida, Tawheed al-Sidduq, Tawheed al-Mufaddal, these kind of works.